Hey guys, I am back with another video. Wow, it's how long part two has been out? Like what? Come like a week. And I was supposed to post like Friday, but I came back from school and I just hit the bed. I didn't get up. There's no excuse here, or nothing really happened. It was just the fact that I got into my bed and I hit the hay. Then I went to sleep. Then I had basketball practice on Saturday. That's why I don't post on Saturdays. And when I got back home, I went to sleep. And today's Sunday. I decided to, do my thing, reviews. But, so, now that we're all here, and it's just, I think the vibe at this point. So, let's get into the video. I think there's not much to say. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a like goal. There's not a like goal on this video. So once you get over 100 likes, I will get the next part for this pretty on time on Friday. On Friday on time, I will post next video. But if that doesn't happen, well, I'll just not post it. I think that's like very clear. So let me pause for a bit, because not pause, but I'm mute the mic. Ooh, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, something happened with the monitor. I don't understand it either, so trust me. Anyways, so let's get into the video and let's just start the fucking video. I think the wind is bothering me like a lot. Okay, let's get into the video. So we started this video not with Deku but Endeavor, and I think I should explain the relationship a little bit more. So Endeavor and Deku has a very weird relationship with each other. It's a master-student relationship, of course, but it's also deeper than that. Endeavor confides in Deku in what he did to his children, and Deku, instead of yelling at him and just ridiculing, he sees that Endeavor tried to change. He sees that Endeavor is trying to change now, but he also understands that the damage is already done. And he tells this to Endeavor straight up. And then also with Izuku, with Endeavor telling this to Izuku, it doesn't dishearten him from being his favorite hero now, because if you watch the last part, he's not All Might is not Deku's favorite hero anymore. It's Endeavor. But it also inspires him, because with All Might, he felt perfect, like there was never a flaw. But with Endeavor, he's way more relatable. He's more like a human being than a legend like All Might. So in Doria, he's the most relatable and the most honest hero he's ever seen. Because Endeavor is not afraid. He's not gonna put on a face for other people. He's gonna be who he is, and if you don't like that, then tough luck. He's not trying to be the number one hero by reaching people's hearts. He's trying to be the number one hero because he's the number one hero, not to make everybody feel better, so everybody knows he's there to protect them, not how All Might did things. Because truly, with the way Endeavor was, he could have been number one hero ever since, but he never didn't want to put on a smile and fake it to the world, because just because he wanted to pass All Might on his own, with his own strength, and he decided not to do that when he could. So realistically, I never could have become number one hero before the beginning of the story, and All Might would have been second. That is crazy. It's crazy to think about, but when you look at Endeavor's track record, The nigga became the #2 hero at 20 years old. Don't look at that. Anyways, became the #1 hero at the #2 hero at 20 years old, and like he has the most solved cases. It's just crazy with thinking about Endeavor and how much more better technically Endeavor is as a hero as All Might. Because yeah, All Might keep the crime rate down, but niggas Endeavor was putting niggas in jail, bro. Well, he's the Batman. I'm just saying, like, Mookie Batman. Anyways, let's get into it. So he tells Deku this, and both Deku and him came to a realization of what Endeavor needed to do. He needed to leave his family alone. He realized that he heard it way too much, and there's no salvaging it because everything has been done. But this happened before Deku's with the whole bank account, so this is like 2 days before. So Endeavor packs up his stuff and writes a note to Fayumi, Natsuo, that bum ass nigga. Anyways, Natsuo and Shoto telling them and explaining everything, why he is leaving and why he doesn't feel like he should be here anymore. Explains about he's gonna come back at some point. Not come back as in stay there, live there, come back as in come back to make sure they have money, come back to make sure they're okay. But other than that, he won't be there because he realizes that everything has happened because of him. Toya, Fayumi, all their pain was because of him, and Shoto. Natsuo, that nigga has been living free here forever. I'm not giving him any sort of sympathy from my heart. I get into that later. Oh my god, I don't like that nigga. Anyways, Endeavor packs his stuff and goes to his old home, or his parents' house. Now, okay, so if you don't know, there's like this fan, it's not even a fan manga. It's a series of fan art that builds a story. That's the best way to explain this, because I can't say the fan manga of MHA, but it has really cool designs, and it's a fan manga based on Endeavor's backstory between of him becoming a hero and with his mother and his father. I'm not too sure in the manga that ever talked about Endeavor's parents. I think his father is dead, or I think that's just from okay. So I don't really look at that too much. I read the manga before, the web manga, but I believe they skipped some stuff because I've never seen them talk about Endeavor's dad, and I've seen a manga panel of it talking about Endeavor's backstory, but I've never seen it because I think you know what, I read it from the unofficial site, so I read my manga from unofficial sites, so they could have just left it out and I couldn't have just seen it, or that would just probably fan manga, but it looked way too real to be fan manga. But you know what, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it for now because I don't know. But yeah, like I just need to clear this up. So that manga thing technically happened. I'm changing around a few stuff. But that fan manga, most of you should know it. If you have if you ever researched of any type of My Hero manga or any platform and you've seen Endeavor, you've probably seen this, and if you don't, I'll go over it in my channel so it will make more sense to you guys. If you guys don't know, just tell me in the comments and I'll go over it in the channel, and the story will make more sense. Just notify me, because if you don't know, I'm just gonna have to do it, and if you don't know, I'm gonna be messed up because the story won't make no sense. You don't know who these people are, and because I don't remember their names right now, so I don't know what to tell you. Let's get back in the video though. So Endeavor leaves the Todoroki house and leaving it to Fayumi. With Fayumi being the oldest and the most responsible, he's not giving it to Natsuo, and he sure isn't giving it to Shoto because Shoto's still in school, and Fayumi is the only functioning person in this family. So yeah, the house and stuff was given to her. If you have problems with that, you should. If you have problems with that, just deal with it, nigga. Fayumi, she's the GOAT. Anyways, Fayumi, when hearing this news, was devastated. Not devastated, but she was sad. she, at times, she did really find it hard to call Endeavor her father, but over time, it grew so natural to her. Because really and truly, he never really did anything for Yumi. He neglected her sometimes, sure, but not all the time. There were times that she does remember in her childhood before Shoto was born and Natsuo was born. Endeavor actually was a really good father. She remembers those times because, and not much people remember those times because people like Natsuo and Shoto was never there for that. Because if you didn't know, Endeavor was kind of a good dad until Shoto was born. Okay, I lie. He was kind of a good dad until Toya stopped being a bitch and, you know, being a spoiled rat. Before that happened, Choda was actually, Endeavor was kind of a good dad. I'm dying on the hill that Endeavor is a good dad, and y'all niggas just salty. I'm just saying, personally. Endeavor, so Fayumi just goes, she's sad and she needs to cope with this for a bit. Seeing her father and now her mother, her mother leaving and now her father, she doesn't know how to take it. Natsuo, he's kind of glad. Yeah, he's kind of, no, it's not kind of glad. That nigga happy. I'm not covering that nigga. Anyways, and then there's Shoto. Shoto is mad about it. He's kind of, he feels this feeling at the bottom of his stomach that he doesn't really like the situation. Again, with Fayumi, his mother left, now his father's gone. He doesn't understand how to take it. Because at first he thought he would have been happy when he first heard it. No, but over time when he's processing it, he doesn't like the feeling. So, to chalk it up, Toya and Fayumi kind of feel the same way. For Shota's a little different. But for Natsuo, the nigga's happy bouncing off the walls because he's a bitch ass nigga. Anyways, so let's go back to Deku and what happened after the money came into his account, and how I actually have the I have something to show you guys. I nearly forgot about it, but you know, your boy, he forgot about everything half the time. Now this post is from Satoshi, I don't know, and Stranger Guy. Or, is it Stranger Guy? Yeah. my spelling, my reading is bad, it's okay. But this guy, so on Friday, I was never gonna make a video, and I didn't want to explain this, but after reading this comment, I decided to make the video that day. But what I did was my computer was dead, my monitor was plugged out, so I couldn't make the video, and it was what in the night, it was 12 in the morning, it was 12 in the night, so it was like midnight, and I was going to make the video, but you know, the computer was plugged out, and I just said fuck it. But he inspired me to make the video that day. Also, I had practice, so I couldn't do it tomorrow, but just know, on Friday you would have gotten the video if it wasn't that my computer was plugged out. So yeah, you can thank the guy, because this or read the message on the screen. It was really uplifting, to be honest. And this guy, he calculated how much money Deku would have in his account at this point. He went above and beyond. I read his whole note. I didn't heart his, because as I read it, I was going inside to read to make the video, but it was already, as I said, it was already stuff. It was like I can't do anything. But I just wanted to make sure you guys know that these three people are just amazing, and I just think, matter of fact, I'm going to subscribe to your page, okay? When I find this, I'm going to find the thing, I'm going to subscribe. So I don't know how much subscribers you have, because you'll see you'll see me when I get there. Oh my god, I got you. So let's get back into the video. Goddamn. So Deku wakes up in the morning with both Kami, Melissa, and May on top of him, and he just pushes them to the side and goes into the bathroom and takes a hot bath, and gets out. He then makes some breakfast for his mother and him. His mother, him, May, and Melissa and Kami makes the breakfast and just puts it on the table. and just grabs his phone and starts like using it. And he sees a bunch of notifications, and it's kind of weird for him. But he doesn't check them immediately. He just goes on to do what he was originally doing, like scrolling through like the internet. I'm just calling it internet because I don't know what's in My Hero, or is it Hero Instagram, Herostagram, Herostagram, and Hero Book, and what do you call it now? What do you call it? Hero Snap, bro. He's scrolling through those and he's just doing his own thing. And then everybody in the house eventually wakes up, and they go to the dining room to eat the breakfast with Izuku's mom, not freaking out, but her face is red, knowing that her son has fully grown up and she counts at her fingers, 1, 2, 3 girlfriends. She's happy because she knows she has definitely secured to have grandchildren, but she's also kind of worried for Izuku, but she thinks he can handle it. She's already distrusted him once, and she proved her wrong. She doesn't want to do it again. And that's kind of it. So Deku then goes back into his room in his computer and finally checks his notifications that were on his phone. And he screams so loud that everyone in the house runs to his room and looks at Izuku. But when they see Izuku, he's on the floor bawling his eyes out. They think something happens, but then Melissa goes onto his computer and sees why he was crying. Because now Deku had at least what is the amount that was there? Has at least, by estimation, $420 million. By estimation, by his calculations, that's $420 million. Let me read this. 10 or 11 accounts each account about $20 million. 40 million dollars or 40 not 40 million, $400 million or 420 million dollars. Oh my god. Anyways, he has about two extra buildings and 2 expensive buildings. The exact price of them is unknown, so let's say he has more than $300 million. Did I give Deku houses? Did I cover this part already? I didn't think so. So, well, if I'm covering it, I'm sorry. I just deal with it. I'm sorry. But she reads the number out, and everybody's shocked. And Izuku is like spouting out, there's probably a mistake. There's probably someone else's money. And Melissa goes on to go and check, and she finds out that it was from someone named Alpha. It's Nine's name. I can't remember Nine's name right now, but it's something. So he says his name, and it snaps at Deku and says that's Nine's account, the person, the villain that he fought. And it says it's basically the way it's transferred is inheritance. So she breaks it down to Deku, saying that what happened was apparently he had his account set up as in whoever defeated him got the money, but they just had to enter the right code. So yeah, so the money is yours, Izuku. And Deku just keeps on crying because he's so happy, and he's kind of iffy about it because the villain, this person, gave him this money, but he's not the one to look the gift horse in his face. If it's all his money, then he's just gonna make sure that he does everything he should with it. So, but this calls for a meeting in the family, and this one who instigates this meeting is Midoriya's mom, and she sits Deku down and tries to talk to Deku about what this means for this family. So she basically explains, she basically says she doesn't want anything from Izuku, clearing this off the bat because she doesn't know this is how some parents treat their children, but she doesn't want to be one of those parents. She explains to Deku that this all is gonna impact your life, so she said you should, I'm advising you to invest and make sure and get your life planned out before you do anything drastic. And Deku just listens to his mother and says, but I want to make sure that you have a good life, mom, because she explains that he had to deal with him for all of her life, and she probably missed out on so much because of him, so he wants to pay her back. So he decides on stuff. He is going to change, and he's become the best version of himself. And it's not just that, his family, and now with the girls that are now basically, you could just call them married to him, but the girls that he loves, with that being Melissa, Cammy, and May, all being people he loves. So he decides he's gonna make him the best, make him the best version of himself that he can be for his mother and for his girls. So he now, before he does anything drastic, he's now going to basically learn some stuff, or look a different way, or dress differently, so he could be the best version of himself. So at first he goes on the internet for a month period. So there's a month. So there's like 5 weeks left until Deku has to fully go back to school. So other than he's looking at like remedies to get taller and better training outfits, to get a sleeker physique, but also have the same strength. So he's looking up this stuff and basically looking up some fashion, but this is no one knows about this. But let's get back to Endeavor. Endeavor stands in front of his house. The place where he grew up, the place where he had his first happy memories. He stood in front of an old mansion. This was this family house. Yes, they did stay at some modern houses throughout their lives, but this was their family house. His father thought it would have been a good investment, and that it looked really cool because it made them feel like this old fancy vibe. When they were rich, but they were this long time rich people. They were just really rich. Oh, actually no. In the manga, I think her mom and her adopted mom and dad were really rich. The Todorokis. So yeah, they come from a long line of family being rich. It's just the husband that wasn't rich. Okay, so yeah. So this was the family house. And then we looked at the huge corridor and the huge garden and the huge everything, but he didn't focus on that. Those were minor things to him. He entered the house with his bags in tow, and he just breathed in the dusky air. He realized this is his life. This is the life he made for himself. He's surrounded by luxury, but still feels so empty inside. It almost reminds him of how he felt during the time when All Might was still the #1 hero. Felt so empty. But he didn't pay that no attention. He walked forward without any fear into his house. As he strolled through the halls, he saw pictures of his mother and his father. His father having black hair and blue eyes. His father having black hair and black eyes, with his hair looking exactly like how whose name now is Natsuo, looking exactly like Natsuo's hairstyle, but it was black. And he saw his mother. When he saw his mother's eyes, not dimmed, but was a little more aggressive and sharp, almost like a glare at a picture. His mother had lava-like hair flowing down her back. She was beautiful in all sense of the words, but if those words would never come out of Endeavor's mouth. Really and truly, his mother really technically did nothing to him. Or technically. It's more the people she's around herself and allowed the people she's around herself to do to him that was the problem. You can remember a time back when this guy with yellow hair and antennas, he didn't really remember, but there was a time he basically was dissing his father right in front of his face and telling him about how better he was than him and how he could please his mother more than he ever could. Which was the basic rundown what he said. Not he didn't say it in that exact line. It's just basically what he said. And Endeavor just broke after that point. And this wasn't the first time this happened either. It happened time and time again. And even at first, the guy abused the first person his mother dealt with after his father's death, kind of abused him, but he didn't pay that any attention either. He hated his mother not for who she was, but who she surrounded herself with. The people the people that the people that disrespected his father, the people that dragged his father's name through the dirt for absolutely nothing but existing. But she allowed it to happen. For what? She didn't need to survive off of them. He couldn't understand why she did any of the things she did, but he couldn't look at her picture and be happy. He could look at his father and be happy over the world, but with her, he was so disappointed in everything she stood for. But he decided not to look at that picture anymore. The more and more he looked at that picture, it got him so angry, to the point where his fist was covered in flames and he didn't even know it. But he walked past it and kept going down the corridor. He opened his room to his mother and father's room, not really thinking about what they did in there. Didn't want to know either. He placed his bags down. He took off the sheets off the bed and replaced them with new sheets that were in the cupboard and lay down on the bed. He looked up into the sky and looked at what his life came to. Is this really what he wanted? What he wanted in life? I'm the number one hero. I have the perfect son. But I still feel so empty. Now we switch back to Izuku's side of things, and Deku has changed immensely. Like I said, the bangs of his hair have turned white. So it's not fully white, but the front bangs of his hair are white. But it's not Shigaraki white. It's Nine's white colored hair. It's just in Deku style. And now his iris has a tinge of purple. Like if you look at it, so it has two colors, but it only looks that way when it's in light. So when Deku's in the dark, it looks green, but when it's in light, it looks purplish. But it also still could look green in some lightings. It's a real world phenomenon, but with the quirks, it just flips it on its head. So his eye color just changes with depending on what light where the light reflects off of his eyes. It just changes. It's a funny little quirk that Deku has. Not the actual quirk, but funny little quirk that he has. So now, coming up to the weekend, it's turning around to his mother's birthday, and so he hasn't seen his family in a week because he went off on a vacation, telling that he just wanted to go on a vacation and process all the stuff that's happened over the time, and they understood. And people like Cammy and stuff, they understood. Oh my god, man, this is getting so bad. But they just did their thing, and they just, did their thing, bro. It's not. Oh, quick pause. Love me, 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 love me. Sorry for the long wait, bro. It's just you really have to find stuff when you download like probably everything you can see. And part of this is your fault because I have to keep downloading this shit because of you guys, and I don't even make half of the shit I plan to make. Alright, finally guys. So Deku's coming back in just a few weeks, and his girls are there. Hold on, I lost it again. Oh, it's there. Oof. I'm blind as shit. So Deku's walking through a compound and he's checking stuff and he's typing on his phone. He's in a white kimono, with his hair now reaching his eyes. His hair is now hanging down from his head, and it's not like when he had his hair puffs up all the time. It's just like it goes flat on his hair, like his hair. Like when his hair is wet, that's how it looks now, because he got like some of his sides were cut, and it's just a really good haircut with his hair coming down, but the white bangs are still there, and his eyes are still green. He's about a little taller than Bakugo. Yeah, he's just a little taller than Bakugo, and his frame is kind of like Bakugo's, but he also has more muscle, and his scars are still there. And he's also been working on the rest of his quirks, like his shield, like the shield, energy shield quirk, and his Quirksy quirk. If you don't know what that is, that's where how minds figure out what people quirks are and other stuff. So Deku can see other people's quirks and know where they are by sensing them in his vicinary. Oh my god. His area, bro. It's his area. He can sense people that's in his area. I'm done, bro. English, cause my. Anyways, Deku was going around this compound and checking out up on stuff and getting things scheduled to be brought here or stuff. But now he goes into the main yard, which is the parking area, and he hops into a black car, and that has white chairs and a signal on it, and in the middle, and he gets in and puts on a seatbelt and starts driving. So throughout the 5 weeks, Deku's only done this in 5 weeks. He's grown taller, his frame has become more defined, and his hair has changed, and he bought a house for both his mother and his girls to come to live in. So the girls have rooms of their own, but this was basically for his mother and him. So Deku drives there and drives to his old apartment. Well, it's gonna be his old apartment, as he can see the moving trucks out in the front. Deku gets out of the car and knocks on the door, and the door opens. But as the door opens, 4 bodies come hurling toward them. That is not just Deku has changed. May let a bang go from. So you know how this picture is? That's how May's hair looks now, but some of it is put into a bun at the back of her head. So she looks way more cuter, to be honest. And Cammy hasn't really changed. She looks kind of the same way, but you can tell like certain features have gotten older and her body has become more developed. And Melissa has gone through the most. So her hair is tied up in how in the movie when she goes to the dress, but it's permanently like that now because that's the style she has on right now. If you guys want me to find a picture, I can. Let's see. Let's damn, my shit's frozen. Wait. Okay, you know what? I'm not testing it. I'm not testing it. I'm not testing it. I won't let this thing freeze. So, yeah, that happens. And Deku just hugs them and tells them about what he was doing, and they all go to the house. They're all excited to go, and they excited to see the house with Deku telling them they can come there, telling Cammy, May, and everyone that they could come there. But this is the it for the whole slice of life version. Let's get into the action and the juicy parts of this story. So the 5 weeks are up and everyone has integrated into the house. So the girls has decorated their rooms, and Deku's mom has settled into her new house and getting to cleaning it. But Deku told her that he could just hire people to do that, but she wants to do it. It's the only thing she's doing right now. And she says, no, since Deku's not a kid anymore, she doesn't really have anything to do, since she never worked. And now she never needs to worry about working in the first place. So she doesn't know what to do. So Deku looks at this and he kind of gets sad because now he knows his mother is going to be lonely without him, and he doesn't know how to process this properly. So he has an idea, and he thinks it's the best for the both people involved. And with this idea, he has to be more responsible, and he knows this. So Deku goes back to school, and he's just sitting down in his class, being the first one there. But now his uniform is kind of different. So before the white shirt and the orange and the black and the red tie, he now wears a skin tight long sleeve shirt, a skin tight long sleeve turtleneck shirt. Oh my god! And he wears a sweater, a long sleeve sweater, turtle sweater neck, pitch black. And over that he wears the white UA shirt and and now he has a long tie instead of a short tie, and the green pants and black boots with a watch on his hand. And Deku just looks 10 out of 10. It's crazy. It's crazy how much he's changed. But everyone comes in and sees Deku, and like they don't see Deku at first because because Bakugo entered all at the same time, so they're talking to Bakugo, not really paying that much attention to Deku. But when they look over and they see Deku, they're all shocked. Some of the girls even blush at the first sight of him, but none more than Uraraka. When she looks back at it, she hasn't remembered talking to Deku for the whole summer, but she does pay that no mind and instantly goes up to her. When she walks up to Deku, Deku looks at her, also acknowledging her presence. She doesn't feel like Deku was looking at her. He feels that she was looking in her direction, but not looking at her. But Uraraka shrugs this off and starts complimenting Deku's looks now and telling him how good he looks. And Deku smiles and nods and thanks Uraraka until Eraser comes on Arasawa and tells them the same thing he does in canon when they came back to the school. And then the alarm goes off and everyone doesn't panic like they did in that they would do so many years ago. They have a calm face and they go to put on their hero suits. Deku's hero suit is basically the same, but it fits him way better. It it makes him, and nowadays his handsome physique now, and Deku just looks, keeps wearing it, and it just looks so cool. So every fight happens in general in the canon, but except Bakugo's fight. Bakugo's fight, same thing that happens to Deku happens to Bakugo in this scenario, but Deku doesn't. He feels a sort of way about it. Why didn't the court do that for him? He knows it's the all for one court because he can just feel it, and with his eyes he also just senses it. But he just feels this. It's not this rage, but this feeling of anger. But he lets it go. He says he doesn't need to worry about that anymore because the quirk is kind of bogus, and he's just happy that he has power, and he's not gonna envy over people's power because it could have been him. Deku does what he doesn't can, not does what he doesn't can, but Deku's fight goes way easier because he's so much stronger. Basically, he's so much stronger than he was in canon that comparing him to Shinso and the rest of the Class 1B is a laugh as a mockery at Deku's power. So Deku decides to show off a little bit and uses his Hell Star Spider attack, which is basically a copy of Endeavor's Hell Spider, but it's just made out of light beams. Shadow sees this and he feels a sort of way about it because he knows that Deku and Endeavor has been spending time together. About how much, when Endeavor was talking about when the family was eating food together, he did talk about Dory and his growth with a lot more, but Todoroki shrugs this off like normal. So then the whole Class 1B faces Class 1A finishes, and they do the interview stuff, and everything happens to canon, even up to the hero agency, because realistically there's nothing really to talk about in like the first part. But I'm guarantee you the next part will be jam packed because I will do the world's hero, the third movie. I'll cover that entire episode will just be the hero, the movie, because I'm going to watch it. I'm not saying I didn't watch it before. I watched a recap of it because I didn't want to watch the movie because at the time I was not fucking with My Hero Academia because the fandom had turned me off to the entire anime and I did not like it. But I got back into it, and now I like it back, but I still didn't like what happened. But you know how this video ends off of our 18 plus video. So with 100 subscribers, you get, not subscribers, with 100 likes, you get to have the whole, it will be an hour long. So I will stretch it out. So I will detail you on Friday, on next Friday. I will describe the movie by detail for an hour. And put in plot points that would differentiate the canon because of Deku's powers. I will put in the plot points. But you know how this goes. At the end of all videos, we always know what's happening. So Deku's back home and he's in his bedroom, but he gets up. He gets up and he goes to the living room and he sees Cammy in a thin, short kimono, to the point where the kimono ends just above her thigh, just above the panties, just under her panties. But she's laying down on a glass table, eating a muffin with May on the other chair, with her hair down, and basically kind of just sitting down eating breakfast. Deku looks at Cammy in a bit of lust. Deku walks forward and is behind Cammy and puts his hand on Cammy's waist, placing his hard member in between her cheeks. Cammy looks back behind her with the muffin still in her mouth and smiles and a tinge of red on her face and places down the muffin and rests her head on the table. Deku then lifts up the kimono just a little bit and grabs the two ends of her panties. He pulls them down and looks at her wet pussy. Damn, that sounds so weird in my mouth. Oh my god. Anyways, he looks at it and he just uses his hand to separate both of her cheeks. Separate both of her cheeks. He then uses his thumb to glide down her pussy. And then pulls down his sweatpants and then takes out his member and sticks it in. He goes back and forth with Cammy yelling on the table, and his mother is not home at the moment. She went out grocery shopping for the house, and Deku is just fucking her on the table, and she's drooling on the table, and she's calling out his name, and Mei looks at it and goes behind Deku and starts kissing on his neck. But Deku's still fucking Cammy. She bites his ear and then grabs down to his member, but doesn't touch it, but goes down to it, gliding her hands down his thighs while still kissing his neck. She whispers in his ear, "Do you like that?" And Deku shivers a little bit, and she smirks. She starts kissing him over and everywhere, with Cammy still being on the table. This happens for a while, and Cammy and Mei switch positions, but it happened. But this is gonna be the end of the video, and you get ready to go for the heroes. Is it 2 heroes? No, it's not 2 heroes. It's the World Hero movie that will be coming out. So the next part will be part 3, the movie. So just get ready for that. And you'll see why for manga readers, to fill the gap, to get Deku to the power of 1 for all, with 9's powers, I need to enter 2 quirks that are similar or based or that are similar or just at the same strength of both 2 quirks from the two members. If you can guess. One is easy to guess which quirk he's gonna get, but which other quirk that he's gonna get, because I told you about the movie already. But which other quirk that he's going to get let's say it does belong to a hero. I'm gonna give you a hint. It belongs to a hero, and okay, it belongs to a hero. That's all you have to know. It belongs to a hero, and it's on par with Deku's gear shift quirk. So do what you do with that. It's on par. Even though, matter of fact, it's better than Deku's gear shift quirk. But that's it for today, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.
You guys probably